Hola, chicks and dudes, and happy Friday to you. XRP price action along with the big dates between Ripple and the SEC. Now remember, the SEC said, bro, we're going to fine you $2 billion. Ripple came back, middle finger said, bro, suck on this. We think 10 million is right. Well, now we're at the part where the SEC gets to respond to Ripple. It's probably not going to be nice. We're also going to talk about billions in unrealized gains. In a what would you do scenario that I think crosses a lot of your minds on the daily. You know who comes first. It's the viewer. And Lynn starts us off, says, good morning, Klaus. Oh yeah, and sorry about that, everyone. I had a lot to do this morning, so sorry for the late update. Good morning, Klaus. Just FYI, I did take all of that H-bar game out of the short-term account and put it in my long-term account. I wondered at the time if it wasn't just a fluke. Glad I followed my gut on that one, but yes, I did have a lovely day taking care of myself. Love you, brother. Seriously, thank you for sharing the victories. That's what we want to see on this channel. We want wins. This channel is news, and a lot of times the news has some bad stuff. So when y'all can share some victories with me, that's awesome. Share those stories. Love hearing about it. Bitcoin sitting at 64,071. It's fucking Friday, everyone, and I hope to God y'all are going to have some fun this weekend. ETH 3151, BNB above 600. Come on now. Be real with me on that BNB play above 600. Sol 143. XRP, who we're going to talk about, 52.4. Now, with XRP being at 52.4, I'm going to also ask you this question. Comment down below if you care to answer. If not, that's okay. You can creep out on the comments and see what other people post. Maybe we'll post some really like degenerate shit down there. Let me know, all right? When we're talking about profits, unrealized gains and so forth, I want you to tell me like what happens to you like when an XRP hovering at 52.4. Going to be talking a lot about XRP price. Because honestly, with this case, with the SEC and Ripple, you all might have some more time here to load up on them bags. All right, this is where we're going to start role-playing here, okay? No safe word needed. We're going to keep it clean, okay? No safe word needed. MicroStrategy's unrealized profit hit $6.2 billion. Now, I want you to think about that, okay? Unrealized profit. So right now, my guy is sitting on big bags, 6.2 billion. Now with that 6.2 billion, that's converted into fiat, okay? But I want you to start asking yourselves, is there a time where it's like, yo, bro, maybe you need to take some gains, kind of like Aunt Lynn, and treat yourself? Because, like, we do know that crypto is very volatile. And I do understand the point where Sailor comes from, and a lot of you come from, where it's like, yo, bro, this is a long-term play. I totally get that. But I'm sitting here thinking, all right, my man, you're up 6.2 billion. How much is enough, whether it comes down to Bitcoin, fiat, you know, whatever you're talking about? Like, what's enough? When do you start taking gains and profits? When do you start realizing that, you know what, bro, I am fucking so much in the green right now that I could make it rain at the club several days a week? Well, I mean, that's what you have to start asking yourself. And I think, like, this is a question that we should all answer before we make our plays, right? Before we make our picks, because you don't want emotion to get you. But I bring this up because, dude, that's a lot of money that my guy is sitting on, and we know that money could go away at any time. So if you're Michael Saylor, what would you do? Would you sell off a cool couple bill of that, maybe 33% of it, get rid of it, convert it into other things so all your eggs aren't in one basket? I mean, we know what Aunt Lynn did. We know, and that's awesome. Thank you for sharing your play. Love that kind of stuff. You know, take care of yourself. That's right. Treat yourself. All right. Ripple SEC lawsuit. Key deadlines announced for April and May. All right. So, story up to date right now is basically you got both sides nowhere near each other. Okay, they're like polar opposites. You know how like when you're playing with a magnet and you put it on your desk and you put the magnet, the negative side, and you try to make it touch the other negative side, right? And it kind of like, whoa, like pushes away and you're like, what the hell is going on? And like you kind of keep doing it, you can move it around your desk. That's kind of like how Ripple and the SEC are, except instead of like little desk magnets, we're talking about like superconducting, super powered magnets that like, yeah, you don't want to get anywhere near each other. So they're really far apart. And now we're waiting for the SEC's response to Ripple's FU to the SEC. So here's the dates here. Ripple's motion to strike the SEC's expert materials was among the matters raised when the party submitted their proposal for the new schedule order. demonstrating their intent to address the issue. In accordance with the order shared by James K. Filan, Magistrate Netburn has stated that the SEC has to respond to Ripple's motion no later than the 29th, so just 3 days away from now. Afterward, Ripple will present its rebuttal to that on May 2nd, which is 3 business days from the initial deadline set out in the order. This is just interesting because this is honestly, it's taking more time. People have talked about settlement. Look, we're not settling. They're just too far apart. Like for real, the difference between 10 million and 2 billion is like, that's a lot. That's some zeros, right? That's too many zeros, So you have to think now, what if the SEC was like, yo, $100 million fine, and Ripple was like, oh, okay, we'll go with 80 million. That's closer. You could see a settlement between that. Even if the FCC was like, yo, we'll make the fine 100 million, and Ripple's like 10 million, and the SEC is like, counter offer you at 50, we'll cut it down the middle. Like, you see what I mean? Like, that's at least close. 10 million and 2 billion is so fucking far removed from each other that, like, the only way that these two are going to get in a bedroom is if, and I do not condone this, so whoever watches this video, moderate, I'm not telling people what to do. I don't think this stuff is nice. You better roofie the shit out of both of these people, stuff them in the room, tie them to chairs. Remember, no safe word, okay? No safe word. This is not that kind of situation. Tie them to the chairs, and when they wake up, be like, yo, figure this shit out, get it over with. Because otherwise, this is going to drag on for a while. They really are that far apart. And this is the order, right? Order with respect 951 motion for discovery. All this stuff, if you want to check it out, is linked in the description below. Okay, so that now brings me back to, like, full circle, right? Aunt Lynn took some H-bar profits. I know if you also have taken profits, too. A lot of you have been making good scores. Well done. Pat yourselves on the back, right? That's cool. Treat yourself. Now, we're looking at XRP price action. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, there have been some times for profit taking as of late. You did get another chance to play at 70 cents, but you had to make that decision really quick within a couple of days. The last time we were at 70 cents, right, we were getting in early November. So it's been a good chunk of time. So that's kind of like what I wanted to bring this about, right? So when we talk about price action, and you've seen, you were able to load up more bags down here, right? If you're down with that, you were able to get it at 43.3 as a low. There was actually someone that commented, by the way, that said they got in at like 43.8 or 43.9. They messaged me, and I was like, holy shit, good for you, man. See, and at the time, we didn't know if that was the bottom, but yo, my guy played the bottom. So I'm looking at this. You've had times to make some plays, okay? You had more time to stack and add your bags. But then you got to ask yourself, okay, what if your turn is now? What if the time is right and like you're sitting on all this money? When do you take the profits? And when we start looking at MicroStrategy with the 6.2 billion, and then we connect it to, well, we know XRP hasn't made that same move, okay? It's not a knock on XRP. I mean, when you've got case action going on, and when you got case action dragged out even more. See, isn't it really cool how I tied all these stories together? I told you, this was really worth the wait. I'm very sorry that I did not do it earlier. But when you have a case just looming over your head and it's just like not anywhere near settlement, so like we can't get it over with, you're going to get price action like this, okay? It's given people more time to make decisions. But you also have to look at it and say, you know what? Okay, if we know the case is going to go on for a while here, were there opportunities where you could have treated yourself? Now, Michael Saylor is not doing that. He's just stacking and stacking and stacking, and my guy is sitting on crazy amounts. So whether you're Michael Saylor, whether you're Aunt Lynn, or whether it's you, the other two people that are watching, Saylor doesn't watch this. I know Aunt Lynn does, but Saylor doesn't watch this. But if you're everyone else, what would you do in these situations? And I wanted to tie this in with a conversation that I had with Trick, where I was telling him, dude, like, I am selling a lot of stuff lately. I am flipping tons and tons of stuff, man. Now, am I reinvesting a lot of it? You bet your butt I am, but I'm also making sure I leave enough powder so that if something does happen, if I see an opportunity that's juicy, got the cash and ready to smash. So I'm just sitting here going, you know, I think Saylor is kind of out there. I think in my personal opinion, I would like to see him take some profits, but then diversify that. That would be great if you were a shareholder of MicroStrategy, wouldn't it? I mean, like, that would be really good, because then you'd be like, oh my God, all the eggs aren't in one basket? You mean we're not going to just follow the price of Bitcoin? We could follow other things that could have longer-term, safer trajectories that could offset Bitcoin? That's my point. So there you have it. The news, a little late. I get it. White Sox still suck, but I'm a big fan. Their record 3, and I think it's like 22 or 23 right now. It's really shitty. Like my blood pressure goes up when I watch the game. I watched the game yesterday, by the way. It was in the afternoon. Oh, it was brutal. It was so freaking brutal. So there you have it. The news is Friday. I will try to get stuff done earlier tomorrow. Like I said, dad duties. Until I see y'all again, check out my new cool little pen that I got here. Sterling Silver, a repurposed handle sterling silver pen. That's pretty cool. Yeah, repurposed. And it actually works too. Like I could write on it.